Hello and good morning. It's Thursday, January 24th, 2013. It's 10 to 9 a.m.
Our topic for today is poetry ruining America's youth?
Well, let's find out, Gretchen. We have today a poem by the poet Gwendolyn Brooks. I will be reading it for you. The pool players, 7 at the Golden Shovel. We real cool. We left school. We lurk late. We strike straight. We sing sin. We thin gin. We jazz June. We die soon. I can't believe this. This angers me. I can't even describe. Jazz June? I don't know what Gwendolyn Brooks is trying to pull here, but, I mean, clearly this is a sexual reference, and she is blatantly encouraging this kind of pornography, and it's being taught in our schools as something that's good.
It's widespread, rampant amongst our nation. It's absolutely preposterous, and I cannot believe for one moment that our children, our youth of the nation, is being corrupted by this possibility of their adulthood prematurely. And personally, I feel the government, needs to put a stop to this.
It's terrible.
It's absolutely absurd.
Listen, my sons already have access to pornography through the internet button on their home computers.
No.
Their laptops, their iPhones, iPods. They see all this day to day. They don't need this in their poetry.
Absolutely.
Listen, what stays in my bedroom stays in my bedroom. They don't need to see it.
I know. I know how it is. Sometimes it's just really hard.
Well, I want to make a point that stood out to me as a woman and an American. The third line. We lurk late. We lurk late, right? Obviously talking about stalking and raping women.
Absurd.
Listen, I don't feel safe. Reading this poem now, I don't feel safe going out at night. Because I'm afraid
It's dark.
teenage males are going to follow me from the bar.
Oof.
Alone. I just don't like it. I think this is a very... She's putting this on a pedestal. On a pedestal. In a poem that my children are reading in school. I don't like this.
I know from personal experience just how terrifying it can be. And I'd like to say that we are all here for you, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Now, bringing us to my point here, I was looking at this poem and I noticed a particular line, we thin gin. This line is bringing out alcoholism. It's saying that our children are being introduced to alcoholism at such an early age, corrupting youth. It is just absolutely absurd, and I can't begin to believe this for 2 seconds. Not even 1 second, too. But for that, this is allowed to be in poetry that is being distributed amongst the children of our nation in schools,
listen,
in libraries.
This is obviously talking about children in school because they say that we left school. Now, gin.
No.
Gin. They should not be drinking gin. Listen, I drink gin. I'm 21. I'm allowed to drink gin.
You are.
My children aren't allowed to drink gin.
No.
Listen, I know gin. It's very strong. They're not supposed to drink this.
No.
This is insane.
That's absolutely absurd.
And what I think is, our teachers are now teaching our children that alcoholism is cool. And it's the last thing that the youth culture of America needs. They're already getting enough of this alcohol stuff on these TV shows like Jersey Beach and those things, and it's just not what they need.
Listen,
no.
And to support Obama's favorite poem, we invited Carlton Marks onto the show. Carlton,
please join us. It's good to have you on the show. Can
Nice
I call
to
you
meet
Carl?
Sure.
Nice to see you, Carl.
Okay. If I could just start, what really struck me at first is how you're all missing the poem. I mean, she never intended for this poem to be a obvious, almost a Bible for kids to follow, to influence them throughout their years, to do all these horrible things. Now, if I could just start with the first point.
Before you go on, let me just stop you. A Bible, there's only one Bible, okay?
Okay, it's not drag our beliefs into this. It's just a
Listen, what are your beliefs? What, you're an atheist, right?
Are you an atheist?
Yes.
Okay, please go on. Sorry.
Okay.
I just want to. I'm just letting
Continue,
America
just
know that.
continue.
With your first point, we lurk late, lurk following women in the night. How could you even possibly think that she's supporting this when it is obviously a satire of what you should not do as a child?
Excuse me, I'd like you to take a look at this page. Do you see satire written anywhere?
That's not the point.
Okay, then what is the point?
The point is that it is a satire. It's implied. It doesn't have to be written.
What do you mean it's implied? I looked up the definition of lurk, and it means rape. Seriously, trust me on this one. I know, listen, I'm using my rights as an American woman to look up on the internet what the definition of lurk is, and it means rape. There's no way you could even counteract that argument.
Not okay.
Listen, the facts are there, America.
Moving on. The next point. Thin Jin. I don't see how this could possibly be interpreted as a supporting of alcoholism. I mean, why? Why would you even consider this?
I'd like to know if you have any evidence against this.
It doesn't need to be written on the paper. It's obviously implied that this is not a manifesto for kids to follow.
Written right there. I don't see any other reason for her to write this. Otherwise, unless she didn't want kids to follow this.
She obviously doesn't.
Now, do you have any evidence supporting this?
Again, with the evidence. You don't need to... It's obviously...
Listen, here on Fox News, we follow facts. We use facts to support our
factual people. With facts.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we are.
Okay, this isn't going anywhere. My final point. Jazz June. This one hits me. How could you even think Jazz June could be interpreted, spun to raping women? Jazz June.
Now,
you're gonna have to explain that
Carl,
one to me.
I don't know if you were around in the 20s and the 30s, but when jazz came about, the culture of it was all based around sex and drugs and all this debauchery, and that's not what our children need.
But Jazz June... When inquired with this exact question, the author, Gwendolyn Brooks herself, said this is not what she intended for the poem to be interpreted. How could you refute that?
I will refute that. Listen, I am a woman myself. Listen, I know Jazz June. When I read that scared me. Lurking late? Listen, I don't want these black teenage men to follow me home at night.
Seriously interpreting this as a black perspective.
It's kind of implied with the jazz and the leaving
never
school.
mind.
Listen. All right. Well, listen. I just want to let you know that we as Americans are very appalled that this kind of debauchery and poetry is making into our school systems and influencing our children about alcoholism, raping young women like myself and younger. And alcoholism. Now listen, I appreciate having you on our show and everything, but I think you really need to go.
I don't think you see what she's trying to convey here.
Excuse me.
Security.
The door is that way.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Very much.
All right. To wrap up that, America. Today is January 24th, 2013, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Friends.
We apologize.
Your contact lenses just arrived.
1-800-CONTACTS. They can't have my brand. I have special eyes.
Look with your special eyes.
My brand. Quality contact lenses. Call, click, and now at Walmart.
Welcome back, America. Tonight, we have Fire and Ice by Robert Frost on Fox's War on Poetry. Now, I've read this poem through and through, and let me be clear-cut, there should be no alternate interpretation here. This poem wants to destroy America. Now, I'm going to point out some key words here. We have the world end in fire. Now, world, we obviously know America is the biggest, if not most important part of the world, ending in fire. Well, I don't know how you could interpret that in some, liberal, metaphorical type of way, but the world ending in fire is clear-cut enough. We have meteors, we have the sun exploding, we have the earth exploding, we have nuclear weapons, perhaps, being set off, setting our world, America, on fire. And I don't know if you know this, but fire is pretty red. Communism. Think about it, America. And ice, the world ending in ice. Nuclear winter? Have you ever heard of it? It's a thing, America, and it's what happens when the Soviets launch nuclear missiles at America. And let me go here. From what I've tasted of desire. Now, I know this has been common, but the desire, how often has it been a talking point nowadays of America's poor trying to leech off the hard-working American rich society? Alright? That's just plain greed, and it's written right here in this poem, and this poem is being taught in our schools. I don't know what you can say about this. And he holds with those who are favoring fire. He himself is backing nuclear weapons, explosions, fire, setting America ablaze. And just, if we want to get the credibility of the author on record, this illustration shows him as a pirate, supporting Somalians. I don't know. It's crazy how this filth is being taught in our schools. And he thinks he knows enough of hate. He knows hate. He hates what? What does he hate here? He's talking about destroying America. He knows how much he hates America. He wants to destroy it. And these closing statements of the line really, really gets me, America. To say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice is also great. He is saying America, the world ending, is great. I don't know how any God-loving American patriot could say this, but here to debate that is Carlisle Marx I have with me tonight. Hi, welcome, Carlisle. Can I call you Carl?
Sure.
So, I think this is quite clear-cut, literal interpretation. The world is ending.
I'm gonna have to
fire.
Stop you. Obviously, well, obviously not. But how could you possibly interpret this as anything except he doesn't want the world to be passionless, frozen, lack of anything, fire, passion. He doesn't want.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you because,
of course,
in this poem, I'm sure you'll notice the word passion isn't said. It's just desire, which
it's obviously implied.
It's obviously implied for greed, is what it is. It's obvious. It's obviously implied. This is a poor takeover of. This is class warfare right here.
Class warfare? Really? Is that all you're taking away from this? From this great poem by Robert Frost, one of the greatest poets of our time.
Yes, and also quite great. He's been given the liberal Pulitzer Prize how many times?
I don't think that's relevant. The passion, that is all he wants. Obviously, when you bring back, from what I've tasted of desire, it's not that
I'm gonna have to stop you right there.
Of course, you'll always stop me because you don't want to hear anyone else's opinion.
That's not the point.
Of course, it's not the point, Sean.
You're pushing a communist agenda on my show. You're pushing this communist. You're pushing this socialist liberal agenda. You're pushing this socialist liberal agenda on me and the American people, and you know what? I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, you know what else you're not a fan of?
Oh,
Apparently
I can't hear you because you're just speaking pinko. All right. Now,
really?
Yes.
You know
now,
what?
another thing I'm going to have to show you. Desire,
no,
terrorists, 9/11 perhaps, greed, fire. You heard it right here, America. You heard it. Literal. They in schools, in our English classrooms, they are teaching our children, the American children, to blow up the world in nuclear winter. You heard it? That's it for Hannity tonight. Have a good night, America.
Head on. Apply directly to the forehead. Head on. Apply directly to the forehead. Head on. Apply directly to the forehead. Head on is available without a prescription at retailers nationwide.
Tonight on the Glenn Beck program, Poetry in America. Not just any poetry, specifically, Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. This poem spoke to me. Spoke verses to me. Basically in the poem he's talking about going out fighting, not silently. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Fighting. That's something we're good at in America, right? War. We kick anyone's butt. But this poem really just symbolizes that perfectly. Do not go gentle into that good night. Fight it out. Don't let death just take you over without a fight. Take him out first. The American way. See, people who don't agree with me on this would probably say, oh, I'll just go peacefully into the night. Take away our guns and make sure we can't fight it out. No. No. How else would we survive as a country without our guns, fighting our way to life? That's the way you gotta look at it. Throughout this entire poem, he brings up basically the same idea that you need to fight all the time. Never stop fighting, always win. You need to win. That's the biggest part. And then at the end he ties up the entire poem by talking about his dad. See, that's where the poem gets really good. He finds a way to connect the beauty of the first few stanzas to his own father's death. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where the poem became good. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Glenn Beck, wishing you a good night.
You probably thought this deer was alive, and this coyote was alive, and this pheasant was alive. Nope, they're not. They're dead. They've been taxidermized by Chuck Testa. Ojai Valley Taxidermy. I specialize in the most lifelike dead animals anywhere, period.
Look at that antelope driving a car.
Nope, it's just Chuck Testa.
Oh no, there's a bear in my bed.
Nope, Chuck Testa.
Hold on a second. There's a leopard feeding on an impala out on my deck.
Nope, it's just Chuck Testa with another realistic mount. Shipped to me from anywhere. Call Chuck Testa for the most lifelike dead animals around, period.
Did that rhino just order a drink?
Nope.
Chuck Testa does not taxidermize pets.
Welcome guests, I'm Bill O'Reilly and welcome to The Factor. Now the topic for our discussion today is poetry. Good or bad for the American education system. Now, after yesterday I decided to look up a few poems and get myself aware of this horrible, horrible topic in our society. And I read the poem Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. And I must tell you that despite my primary attitudes toward the man as a classic hero of virtue and honesty, Alfred's interpretation just made me appalled. Now I see him as a polygamist, secular progressive who is a traitor to his country and to his people. He thinks that going out and exploring the world is going to satisfy his quest for knowledge. And I must tell you, he doesn't need all that knowledge to help his people. I graduated from Harvard with a master's degree in public administration, yet I think I'm an intellectual on the forefronts of politics and society. I don't need that much education anymore because I already learned it. I don't need to learn anymore because now that's just going to get in the way of how I see things. And leaving your countrymen to your son, that's not kingly at all. That's a disgrace to your country and to the virtues of the United States of America. So, with me now to refute my beliefs is Dr. Carlos Marx. Dr. Marx? How are you? Can I call you Carl?
Sure.
Okay, my main point with this topic is that he wants to leave his countrymen behind. That's just being selfish and ignorant to the problems of society.
But will he not be a better king should he sail the seas, gather this information, and bring it back so he can apply it to his governing back home? How is that a bad thing?
Okay. First of all, it's Greece. You don't need extra experiences to know what to do. All you have to do as king, just tell people what to do, and that's it. You don't need to think. You don't need to have all these different ideas, because what's the point? It's the same place, same people. All you have to know is the geography and
you
politics.
bring in all the different viewpoints that can only help you. It'll expand your mind.
Expanding your mind is not important, okay? All you have to know is specialize in several things. You know what? Your stupidity makes it hard to have a rational discussion with you, okay?
Now you're just calling me stupid now,
Just pay attention and listen to me, because, you know, if there's no spin zone, I'm always right.
Yeah.
Okay? And my views are nice job, Sean. Way to go.
Is this what it's come to? You're throwing footballs at me? You and your friends? Your conservative friends? Is that it?
Hey.
I came out here for a heated debate. This is not what I wanted. Look, I'm sorry. I have to go.
No, you're on the factor. You are on the factor. Alright. Well, anyways, with him, his elitist liberal views are obviously completely wrong from the truthfulness that I believe in and I live in. Because unlike him, I do not live in any sort of bubble. I live in the United States of America, and I believe in the rights of people. So, it is around 9:25. I'm Bill O'Reilly. And, what does that say? What's the teleprompter say? There's no words. Well, let's go. You know what? Just count me out again.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Now it is around 9:25 a.m. and this is the. There's no words on the page. Damn thing sucks. We'll do it live, okay? Count me off again.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bill O'Reilly. It is 9:25 a.m. and that is the news. Goodbye, America.